Welcome back to Paddy's Golf Tips. We're here at LA Country Club, the site of the US Open. This is a special I've done on driving distance, speed, power, everything I know about speed. I've recorded with me and my golf, and I hope you enjoy it. I'm giving you the pearl of wisdom here. Right, I would say to a slicer, and again, this is the quickest way to gain distance. The worst thing an amateur can do, is your sight over 18s? Here's something that nobody has ever noticed, and I've been doing for 3 years.
The winner of the gold medal and the champion golfer of the year is Padraig Harrington.
Padraig, welcome to the channel. It's great to have you on.
Thanks, it's good to be here.
We wanted to talk today. I mean, we have to talk about distance. The majority of the viewers would like to. We would like to gain a few more yards off the tee.
This is just for us, it's not for them watching.
And you're qualified to do that. You're 51 years old, the ripe age of 51, still hitting the golf ball monstrous distances. Can you share some of the secrets to how you've done this?
Yeah, it is complicated. And actually, it's complicated at one level and it's quite simple at another level. So if you want to hit it further, you've got to hit it harder. And to do that, you've got to break a lot of inhibitions. I started in 2003. I got a launch monitor and my top speed was 169 ball speed on the old Vector cameras. Yeah.
Remember that.
So by 2008, if you bet me on the range, I did this, I'd get 190 ball speed doing a Happy Gilmore, 192. And I could do that. I could hit for 4 hours and get faster and faster, but it wasn't transferring to the course. So what you're seeing now, I changed my attitude about 2-3 years ago. I want my first swing to be fast, not my 150th swing. So I used to peak about 70 swings in. I used to start getting to a level. That's why you see me on the golf course, I take 3 vigorous practice swings. The reason I take those practice swings is because generally my 3rd or 4th swing is quickest at this stage. So I want to really prep myself. The simplest answer is lose some inhibition, stop trying to hit it straight and just swing at it.
Big mindset shift then, a big mindset shift.
If you can lose your inhibition, so how do you do that? I would say, and I say this pretty much to every amateur, if you're into the game, you probably got to hit once a week, maybe 20 balls. No interest in hitting them straight. You're just purely interested in getting the club head to go as fast as you can. You know, you're trying to get to a limit on the range that you can back off on the golf course. So if you come to this game new and you want to look like a golfer, anybody pre-90, 1990 will do this, and it does add speed. This is how somebody pre-90 sets up to the ball. They move their feet and they move their hands. That adds speed, okay? The more aggressive your feet are, the more speed a little bit more speed you will have. But you look like a better player when you waggle. This
Isn't going to cut it.
it ain't doing anything. You look terrible.
Yeah.
You know, and the old,
Yeah.
let's are you going to the toilet? Like, you gotta be athletic, move your feet. So you'll see, I'm gonna try and get a bit of speed here. I'm gonna give it a little waggle.
And you're always moving, even on your irons. You were moving earlier in your warm up.
I'm moving on my putting. You should never be still.
Yeah.
Everything I do is in a beat. Right, so like that's 115. That's not a good start, guys.
Come on then.
It's cold. It's morning.
Winter.
You've had a busy week.
Winter, long drive this morning. You got it though.
I'm giving you loads of secrets here today. These are things. Here's something that nobody has ever noticed, and I've been doing for 3 years. I use a double overlap on my driver.
Interesting.
Every other club, I'm a single overlap. I use a double overlap. Closer your hands together, the faster they go.
There we go. Oh.
Yeah, I've not heard that before.
Yeah, double overlap. So look.
Interesting.
I want to see a shot, Pierce. The driver's coming out.
I feel like he's building up to it.
Waggles. Little spinny, but again, 177 ball speed. I tell you what, I'd be very happy with my first one out in the range like that on a cold day.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm seeing on the golf course now is my regular swing is 78, and when I'm having a good day, I'm getting that 84 on the golf course, which, again, psychologically, it gives me a big boost. What do you think is the biggest contributor to speed in the golf swing? 70% of the speed comes from your hand. So if you're an amateur golfer out there and your hands are not active, you're just leaving something behind. So your hands should be active. The best way of getting the hands to release, and we're starting at the low-hanging fruit, and I'm going to give it to him. I'm going to give it the Tommy Fleetwood drill. Swing fast, stop hard. So the more you put the brakes on, the more you try and stop, and basically you're pulling. This is why you need to be strong. You're pulling here. The more you try and stop the head, you stop the grip, the more the head accelerates. So a great drill for all amateurs, and you'll love it so much that you will hit a lot of your mid-irons, is that stinger shot you see people play, Tommy Fleetwood. So we want to work, and this is a training drill. So I'm going to do 3/4 swing, and we're going to work on that finish. Aggressive, but rock hard.
Look at this, look at the face.
Temper, right? That's only a poke, but I'm trying to put the brakes on. To put the brakes on, everything will have to, and that throws the club head. The next thing that gives the most speed is swinging your arms. I'm actually giving you, I know I put them on Paddy's golf tips, but in Paddy's golf tips you have to go through them to find out. I'm giving you the pearl of wisdom here, right? If you want speed, you've got to swing your arms fast, okay? Real fast. They're the second generator that you need to use. So again, you'll see me a lot of times on the range or on the golf course. I'm speeding up my arms. I'm swinging left because I want my arms coming out in front of me. I want none of this efficiency. There's none of this slow body turning, looking up to the target, me shallowing out back here. If you do that, if you want to stop slicing, this is what you do. But for speed, you want the arms in front of you, driving. The next two are really where the amateurs go wrong. Torso and hips. I don't know which to go for. We go torso first, right? Because we are in order.
Keep going in order. You're in a great order here.
So what most amateurs don't realise is you want to turn your chest, right? So I'm turning, and you can see I'm open. But my shoulders are practically square at impact. You cannot hit the golf ball if you've turned past the ball. So the old John Jacobs tip, you open the door, you close the door, right? The guy who slices the ball and is swinging hard but hitting it nowhere, he's left the door open. His chest is gone and his shoulders are open. So you really want to think, yes, turn as hard as you can with your chest, but you've got to think, I want to keep my back to the target, I want to keep my shoulders square. You've got to think more, rip through, but feel like this is actually quite square. Especially if you're a slicer. I would say to a slicer, and again, this is the quickest way to gain distance. If you slice the ball, you're probably likely to be fast swinger, but inefficient. So you're the one who's actually going to pick up huge speed. I would practice a lot hitting with my back to the target. Now, I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to hit with my back to the target. So look, let me hit.
Going into the club out as well.
This is more efficiency. You want to turn, but there's no point in turning ahead of the ball. If your shoulders are open, you've lost everything because you're getting the handles ahead, no speed. So this is just an exaggeration. So I've hit a nice big hook there, bit of release, everything. Ball, that won't carry, but it will run a long way.
And if you're a slicer, that's exactly what you would like to see.
You want to practice everything shut, everything this way.
And you have to release the hands then as well. You have to release that club.
You're blocked. So that will all go. Release. We want our shoulders active, or we want to turn through hard, but we just don't want to flail it. We just don't want to come out of it open. So the young kids, if you watch Rory, is he still young?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He's younger than us.
He changed the game with driving, but Davis Love was the one who did it before. And remember, in Davis' time, they told Davis he was wrong. Yeah. Right? So Rory actually has a lockout of his hips just before impact. My lockout comes about here. So I'm inefficient, okay? But I'm trying to get on top so everything posts up. Rory's will lock out, and if you watch it behind, he has the reverse hips.
Yeah.
That happens just at impact, very fast. Mine happens up here somewhere.
And as you say, this lockout is what's getting that energy into
it's a deceleration. If you do not it's always very hard. You've got to decelerate in order for the outside to go faster.
We always talk about cracking the whip. You know, you've got to be able to accelerate and then stop.
And then
that throws energy onto the end of the whip.
It's the little snap. So you watch, and all the young guys, they squeeze in under here. So we're going to hips now, right? So they squeeze in just before impact. If you were down the line, you would see that there's a little tuck there, right?
Yeah.
So and the left leg is straight, the worst thing you can do in golf is straighten your left leg. So Bob Torrance used to tell me this all the time, and I never understood it. He says, you'll see somebody and they'll go straight, gee, the knee is in. They lock the leg out. That's nothing. It's not connected. If you try and spin your hips and they're not connected to your torso, it will add no speed. Is your sight over 18s? Like,
yeah, pretty much.
So I'm allowed to say, you squeeze your So essentially when you're coming down, there's two things going on in the downswing, right? With your legs and hips. One, you're squeezing in here, right? You're squeezing. So down this camera angle because you want to see it.
We're going to get a close-up.
Essentially you can see my right glute pelvis and this side goes under my left. So there's a strong pinch here. My arse has gone up this way.
There's a lot of squeezing going on there.
Yeah, and you're squeezing in that area, right? So if you were to, and do practice swings this way, it's that way.
Yeah.
That knee is under that, like so.
You've already got kids, haven't you? Yeah. That's good. That's good.
It's kind of the same. On the backswing, you're tucking into this one. On the downswing, you're pinching in here again. Okay. So that doesn't let the leg get away. It's staying in position. You're getting under it, okay? So you get that right, necessarily do it with closed stance. You can see how it's really biting into my hip. Okay, now once we get that, we go for the added bonus, which is where you see a lot of the long drive go with ground force. So as long as you're under, as long as your pelvis is pointing upwards, okay? As long as you're under that, we can now come up with our pelvis as much as we can. JT is phenomenal in the sense of, like, he literally has his right foot there, but that hip is still under this. Because if that hip was above the left hip, you are just hitting snap hooks all day. He can still get, well, I think he lifts both of them actually. So a lot of the young, nearly every long drive guy, every guy hitting the ball hard will be airborne at impact. So you can now, when I try and go up, I'm going to press hard here, and up. It's by just trying to go up, I have to go down. By the way, the worst thing an amateur can do is try and keep his head down or keep it still. So I will not be speed, and that's where they are. Actually, get the heel up.
Yeah. Please listen to this if you're trying to keep your head down or still. Stop doing that.
And you can just notice how much the peak of your cap is moving on this. And we talk about this so much, how if we want to create a turn, there's no chance of that head.
Yeah, you got to move your head.
We have to allow that.
You got to rotate.
Some room.
Yeah.
Okay. So like that will get faster, right? Because the first one I have a little bit of inhibition. So I got it in the toe.
Yeah,
but you can see.
A bit right.
I think second last video I posted on Paddy's golf. Well, obviously we're going to post this later. Up, down, up. So in a golf swing, if you're topping the ball, the worst thing you can say to somebody, a beginner who's topping the ball, is keep your head down. Because if your head's down, the only place to go in the downswing is up. You're going to top it. The better way to do it is up. If you go up, where are you going to go? Down. So up, down, up for an amateur. I've had this in my swing all my life and I've hated it. My trigger to get the club away is I press. And I hate it because I look terrible, right? If you stop me at that position, it looks. But the long drive guys, that's what they recommend. You've got to press.
Yeah.
So I press, I unweight. Now, ideally about here, I'm going down and then up. But you've got to go up, down, up. So a good timing would be up and down is actually in what people would consider their backswing. So up, and you can see I'm still moving back as I go down, and then I can explode up.
If you think about these three things that Padraig's saying here, they're all being classed as dirty words and dirty things to do in golf. You can't do any of those. You've got to keep still. You've got to pacify the hands. He's falling over.
You've got to stabilise the club face through impact.
Yeah.
You know, all these things are coaching the speed out of golf.
Yes.
From that side of things.
You know, see what's happened is, and we're all guilty of this, you're teaching the elite.
Yeah.
And the elite guy needs to turn. The elite guy needs to stabilise the club face. There's loads of things the elite player needs to do who's 16 years of age. But the regular guy playing golf, or girl, especially women. The ladies' 12 tee box was in the practice ground where I grew up. They hated me because I'd stand there watching them. The ones who were really good were hockey players, field hockey, and that meant they swung to there and they hit it. And the ones who struggled with distance, they got here and they thought, I've got to hit it further. And look, they lost everything. They were probably trying to keep their head down as well as do all that.
Yeah. The longest hitter in our old golf club was a 65-year-old woman, Doreen Banks, and she was an amazing hockey player.
Yeah.
And she couldn't take it past here. Couldn't move past there, but she had the speed.
But this is what I was getting onto. Yes, long is good if it suits you.
Yeah.
But it mightn't suit you.
Yeah.
So try short.
Yeah.
Short and fast is not a bad option. What you want? What you want me to show you? Are we going with a regular swing, hard swing?
I think go with a regular swing and then show us how you'd ramp it up to a more long one.
Give it.
By the way, height, right, is efficient. You know, a looping shot is efficient, but that's got the most potential to be wild. If you're on a tree-line golf course, keep it down. So if I'm trying to hit it straight, I'm going with a low one, low and hard. So that's just a pure.
Fairway fine.
I want to hit it straight. If that's got to 174, I'd be delighted.
I've got 177 here.
Yeah, okay. If I'm on the range, so I'm really trying to get there on the range.
That's that one where you're aiming a bit further left.
A bit further left, I'm trying to really whip through it and get some speed.
182 speed.
So what's your target? What would you?
Well, I should be able to get one. Well, it's cold. 130.
130. Okay.
Okay, but I might need. I don't do many of these long ones anymore. See, I think I need Shane Lowry's money on this.
That's a great ball flight, that is, though.
That's what I was talking about earlier. I've mishit that.
126 and a half.
Is it high off the face?
Toe,
yeah.
so it's gone forever.
Knock the spin down, isn't it?
But it's gone a long way because of it.
Okay.
Back to my normal swings.
He's just playing to the camera here. That's a great golf.
That's a better strike now.
It's 125, 184 ball speed. So that's probably
That's okay in a cold day. So
last one.
Last one. Psychologically now, I'm just gonna forget everything and just hit it hard.
He needs a whiskey, I think. Those
Shout
inhibitions are going to get rid of it.
shouting at him.
So I got a little harder into that.
Yeah, 126.
Yeah.
125 and a half, sorry.
183 ball speed.
I've given you all now.
Yeah, there's nothing left.
There is
nothing left. But no, look, that's been amazing to just listen to you talk and share that with these guys. Has been brilliant. I know you've got your YouTube channel as well, Padraig. I mean, we'll put the link in the description there. There's so much more that you're going to be doing on there, isn't there, as well?
I put videos up every couple of weeks, Paddy's Golf Tips on YouTube, and just basically talk through how I think the game should be played. It is for everybody, but it's mainly for amateurs who are mixed up.
Do you know what? There's not many of us who aren't mixed up. That's all I'd say. Most of us are mixed up.
You play golf, you're mixed up.
Padraig, thank you so much. Thanks, guys, for watching. Drop any comments and questions down below. Make sure you subscribe to Paddy's Golf Tips in the description and check out meandmygolf.com or simply download the Me and My Golf app. Thank you for watching.